Well, welcome to Odsal Stadium. The York City Knights won automatic promotion to the Championship by beating Whitehaven on the final day of the season to finish 2 points ahead of nearest rivals, the Bradford Bulls. John Keir's side were also promoted after beating Workington Town in the League One promotion grand final exactly 80 days ago here at Odsal. This afternoon, the top two sides from League One in 2018 will shake off the cobwebs at Odsal Stadium as they build towards the new 2019 Championship season. It's been billed as the grand final that never happened. Bradford and York will play out the final game of 2018. Oddsal's packed, Oddsal's noisy. It's a game that will have more bang, fizz, punch and snap than a box of luxury Marks and Spencer's crackers. Will go through the two sides. The Bulls, Brandon Pickersgill at fullback. The wing three-quarter line of D. Fogging Johnson, Ross Oakes, Ashley Gibson, the skipper, and Jai Hitchcock's the half-back pairing, Rowan Milnes and Dane Chisholm. The front row forwards will be Liam Kirk, Sam Hallas, Callum Busting, Connor Farrell, Matty Staunton and Mikey Wood at loose forward. And on the interchange this afternoon for John Keir's side, John Magrin, Keelan Foster, Jordan Lilly, Evan Hodson, Elliot Culling, Tom Doyle, Alex Stevenson and Josh Rickett. So we're up and ready. We're underway at Odsal. York will have first use of the ball. They will play from right to left towards the terracing here at Odsal, and Bradford will be playing towards the South Bank stand, and it is with York who have first use of the ball, and they will line up with Matt Chilton at fullback. Wing three-quarter line of Judah Maziv, Liam Salter, Perry Whitley and Ash Robson. The half-back partnership will be Matty Marsh and Connor Robinson. 23 tries between them in 2018. The forwards will be Ronan Dixon, Will Jubb, Jack Teambay, Josh Jordan Roberts, Brad Hay and Marcus Stock at loose forward. And on the interchange bench, Jason Bass, Jack Blackborough, Kevin Brown, Dave Peterson, formerly of the Bulls, Joe Porter and Reese Rushworth. There's no Ben Cockayne, no Graham Horn, no Tim Spears and no Sam Scott for the York City Knights here this afternoon. So we've had one full set of six, a minute on the clock. It's Bulls Live, Bulls TV, coming live at you on Boxing Day 2018 with myself, Mick Gledell, Ross Peltier and Ethan Ryan, and it will be Bradford's first set of six, 30 metres out from their own try line, and it will be the big bear, as he's called, Callum Bustin, who will carry Bradford just shy of their own 40-metre line. Hallison at dummy half, he'll find Kirk. Kirk swarmed upon by two hungry York City Knights defenders. Bradford still 10 metres shy of the halfway line as Mikey Wood will carry him just inside the York half. Last tackle, says today's referee, Aaron Moore from Wigan, the younger brother of Super League referee Liam Moore. Chisholm on the last, on the halfway line, looking to put the winger Robson under pressure on that far stand side. Robson palms the ball backwards and he's immediately swarmed upon there by three hungry Bradford defenders, and certainly Matty Staunton getting involved early doors. How do we see it going, Ross, in the first couple of minutes? Two big physical packs today.
I think it's going to be cagey, you know. There's not going to be much meters given. It's going to be tight, like past two games have been between us. I think it's going to be a real arm wrestle, and it's going to be a thing of someone's going to break in about 20-25 minute mark.
Well, we've got the best two sides from Betfred League One in 2018, and again, that Andrew Chalmers and John Flatman build, the grand final that never was, who will have the final bragging rights in 2018. York on the last tackle, 15 shy of the halfway line. It'll go back to skipper for the afternoon, Connor Robinson. Pickersgill will trap it on his own 20-metre line, and he's going to give it to Jai Hitchcock, and Hitchcock's signed a 2-year deal with the club. He'll be brought down, 25 out from his own try line, centre field. The floodlights just starting to get bit of brightness on proceedings here. It's a bit of a gloomy, misty afternoon here at Odsal, but dry. Here goes D. Fogging Johnson on debut, signed from Hunslet in the close season. John Keir, an Admiral fan, and D. Fogging Johnson makes about 10-15 metres there, carries Bradford just shy of the halfway line, as Bradford just going to do the hard yards forward, and that's going to be Ashley Gibson, the standing captain this afternoon. He'll play the ball, 45 out from that York try line as Hallas to Kirk. Kirk caught on the shoulder, rolls around on the floor, last tackle, 35 out. It's going to go back to Rowan Milnes. Milnes made his debut for the Bulls in this same fixture last year against Halifax. And Jai Hitchcock's on that right wing, putting Matt Chilton under a lot of pressure as Judd and Maziv now will go on a scampering run out of dummy half. Ethan, that's what you like to see. You like to see the wingers getting involved.
Yeah, definitely. A good kick there by Rowan. He put the cage kick up, which should just keep him in that bottom corner, and that's what you want. You want good kick chase, and Jai got him there as soon as he caught the ball, which is great.
0-0, just short of 5 minutes gone here. Bulls Live, Bulls TV, calling the action here on Boxing Day from Odsal. Will jumping at dummy half for York. They're going to move the ball on the far stand side towards the main stand at Odsal, and that is their last tackle set. So Bradford's defence just about on top at the minute as Connor Robinson's kick ricochets off a Bradford player. It's Matty Staunton. It's still the last. The kick will come in from that far stand wing position. The ball's back into centre field. The referee's called the York defenders offside, and he's going to say play on. So Bradford will have their first tackle just short of the halfway line. So they're going to have a full set of 6, one feels, inside the York half as Connor Farrell will be brought down. He's on Bradford Bulls' debut this afternoon, and the first penalty of the afternoon will go in favour of John Keir's side. Connor Farrell catching the York defence, not square, inside the 10, and Ethan Ryan rather humorously says go for 2.
Why not? Get the first points on the board of the new season, yeah.
Dane Chisholm has other ideas. Will kick towards this main stand side, and Bradford will have a set of 6, 20 metres out. Ashley Gibson, ball in hand to Farrell. Good leg work from Connor Farrell. He'll be brought down just outside the 10. 10 in from this main stand side. And Hallis now will go in at dummy half, looking for options. Gives it to Busting. Busting. 2 York defenders out of that defensive line, 8 metres out in front of the post. Bradford looking for first points. Milnes to Chisholm. Bradford have York stretched out wide. Ross Oakes towards the line, and Ross Oakes has got the ball down, and Ross Oakes, he gets the 2019 season up and running. Great movement between Milnes and Chisholm. York was stretched. The numbers couldn't get there in the end. And Ethan, your centre partner, he only scored 1 try in the whole of last season. That was against Oldham. He's got his account up and running early.
Yeah, that was a great ball by Chiz as well. I think he did a little cut-out pass to Ross. We just had the overlap, and you know what Ross can do if he gets into a bit of space. He's a very good player, so we're good to see him get over.
Ross, that got you purring?
Yeah, it did. You know, I think that come from us winning the territory battle. You know, we won the field position battle with arm wrestle. Then, you know, a few good kicks, Jai pinning them back in their 10. You know, we won that field position battle. They give a penalty, and this is what we can do when we're getting anybody's 30. We can play some good football, especially with hearts like Rowan Mills, you know, Chiz, Keys, Lily. Mate, we've got so many options. Yeah, it's exciting.
And that's clearly going to add to what John Keir wants for what is going to be a tough season in the Championship, those competition for places. Dane Chisholm on the far stand side will attempt the conversion. Oakes scored 5 metres in that far left-hand corner. But as we've seen in 2018, Dane Chisholm with that mercurial boot. This one, though, looks like it's just going to go across the face. So it's an early try to Ross Oakes. 8 minutes gone here on Bulls Live, Bulls TV. And it is the Bradford Bulls 4, the York City Knights 0 in the game that has been billed as the grand final. That never was. Ethan Ryan, you're not playing because you're on international duty, but you have quite a privileged position because you now get to have a good look at Fogging Johnson, at Oakes, at Gibson and at Hitchcox.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I think you mentioned before, there's a lot of competition for places now. John's made some very strong signings this year, and it's good to have that little bit of competition, and it keeps you on your toes. And like you say, I mean, it'll be good to see what they can do today, what I need to do to get better and things like that, and just have a look at where we need to go.
Well, Fogging Johnson on debut. He will trap the ball on his own 10-metre line. Second tackle gone. Bit of a shaky restart there, but the Bulls have the ball and they're slowly moving it forward. As we said, we've had just over 8 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium on this Boxing Day game as Dane Chisholm nearly give the penalty away, running behind Callum Busting, but he'll be brought down by Team Bay and Jubb inside his own 20-metre line. Here goes Mikey Wood with a battering charge down the middle, down the throat of this York City Knights defence. Hallis out of dummy half to Milnes. Milnes is going to look to put Matt Chilton under pressure. Chilton takes it 15 metres out from the halfway line, and he will surge forward, and York City Knights now are going to have good ball in good field position as it goes out to Jubb, to Hay, up to halfway for the York City Knights. Let's not forget those 2 great games in 2018, just 2 points separating those fantastic fixtures from League One. Bradford taking the spoils at Bootham Crescent, York gaining revenge here at Odsal. This one could be more of the same, going right down to the wire as Connor Robinson over on that right-hand edge keeps the ball going. Danger here for the Bulls as it goes out to Ash Robson. Robson's inside the Bradford 10, but great scrambling defence there from Ross Oakes and Pickersgill. They went for the legs, and Pickersgill will just slide Ash Robson into touch. Chance gone begging for the City Knights. It'll be scrum, head and feet to the Bulls, 10 metres out.
Yeah, it's good to see us working hard for each other there. I think we had a bit of an overlap, but we didn't give up. We managed to put him in a touch just before the line, so it's good to keep him scoreless at the minute.
That's got to please you, Ross. Pre-season, you all spent Christmas Day with your families, but everybody clearly in the opening 10 minutes from what we've seen, everyone working for one another.
Yeah, I think that's been testament to this pre-season. You know, we've had a real togetherness at boys. You know, we've worked hard together. We've done a lot together. I think we're a real tight-knit group now. It's feeling better than ever.
Bradford will move the ball from that scrum, 10 metres out. In front of their own posts, Sam Hallis looking for options. He's got Kirk and Bustin. Misses out Kirk, finds Bustin, and Bustin takes 3 defenders with him just outside the Bradford 20-metre line, so 80 metres away from the line. As we said, the mist just starting to roll a little bit in here at Odsal, but clarity and vision perfectly okay as Connor Farrell loses the ball, but there's 2 York hands in the tackle, so a second penalty of the afternoon is going to go towards the home side as Connor Farrell has had the ball stolen, and this will see Rowan Milnes take the place kick on this main stand side, and he will take the Bulls 10-15 metres inside that York City Knights line. So Bradford, a full set of 6 here. It's going to be tapped by Gibson. Misses out Farrell. Decides to go down the avenue himself. Brought down in a 3-man tackle. Hallis appealing for a penalty at the ruck. None forthcoming. Short pass to Wood. Wood carries Bradford just outside the York 20-metre line. 2 tackles gone on this set of 6. Bradford building some momentum, you feel, here as it now goes on the runaround between Milnes and Bustin. Bustin carries it forward. He's brought down in front of the post. 15 metres out, centre field position here for John Keir's side. Hallis to Chisholm. Chisholm on the run around, back to Storden. He will front up and he'll be brought down just a metre shy underneath the sticks here, Matty Staunton. Great footwork there from Matty Staunton, and he's going to play the ball on top of the York try line. Danger here for the Knights. Milnes, grubber kick through for Farrell. Connor Farrell will touch down on debut. That was wonderful.
Yeah, it was a beautiful try. Like I said earlier, you know, half-back partnerships, when we're getting anyone straight, we're going to be dangerous, and that just shows it there.
And great to see the communication. Rowan Milnes, he was telepathic there to Connor Farrell. There's a gap there between Maziv and Chilton. A perfectly weighted grubber into the in-goal area, and Connor Farrell has his account up and running.
Yeah, I mean, when Rowan gets the ball, he's dangerous. He's got so many options, and you see there just a little kick through instead of the pass option, and Faz obviously read that and managed to get the ball down. Great try by us there. Good start.
When you think, Ethan, just over 10 minutes gone on the clock, 2 quick tries. This is some statement, albeit early days in pre-season from the Bulls.
Yeah, I mean, we're just doing what we practiced, and that's all we can do out there. We can just put it into place, and then let's just see if we can keep that up now and keep them scoreless and keep adding to our point tally.
What's the mood been like at Tong in the pre-season? Is it fair to say that you've only just hit the ground running now after the international break? The hard work's still to come? 6 weeks away from that home game here against Featherstone?
I'm not so sure. I mean, I think I started back at training about 3 weeks ago, and I feel in very good condition at the minute. Like I said, I had a couple of weeks off after international break, and it wasn't like I was gone for long. So I think we're all in a good state of physical shape, and you can really see it out there as well.
The music in the background will tell you Dane Chisholm is successful. He converts Farrell's try. And on Bulls Live and Bulls TV here at Odsal Stadium on Boxing Day, with 12 minutes gone on the clock, it is the Bradford Bulls 10. The York City Knights 0. And as we said, the York City Knights picked the Bulls to the League One crown, and they arrive here at Odsal on the back of a 15-game unbeaten run. Their last defeat was that narrow defeat against Whitehaven up at the recreation ground in mid-summer. But as we said, when I was speaking to both John Keir and James Ford on the touchline, James Ford confirmed that Ben Kane and Graham Horn could have played this afternoon, but he wants to see if any of the other players who are going to make a step up this afternoon can show a bit of leadership out there and a bit of direction, a bit of guile. Bradford on the restart there, 10 metres inside the York half, 40 metres out. Last tackle, Ethan Ryan's calling for the big up and under. Chisholm's going to run it though as it goes to Gibson. Gibson kicks ahead for Hitchcocks, but Matt Chilton perfectly placed to avert the danger, but he's immediately brought down by Cora Farrell, the try scorer, 5 metres out from his own line. Judah Maziv in at dummy half to Perry Whitley. Whitley's going to roll around on the floor, gets a quick play the ball in. Robinson back to Maziv. We'll all remember Judah Maziv and that amazing 80-metre try he scored here to break Bradford hearts back in July. And York just giving something back here at the Bulls here. They've picked up the speed of the game, and Connor Robinson's going to look for a 40-20, but Brandon Pickersgill's on hand to avert the danger. And Pickersgill in that new 2019 red, amber and black all white shorts, white socks top is brought down on his own 30-metre line. Hitchcock's on tackle number 2. Good intensity to this one, Ross, certainly in the forwards. York just stepping up there.
Yeah, I think they've realised that they need to get something. They need to start getting some field position, build a platform for, Connor Robinson and their backs to build off. I think that's what we've done, Busto, Mikey Wood, Kirky, we've set a good platform. Connor Farrell, we've all set a good platform, and I think York can just try to get back in that arm wrestle, try to set the tone themselves,
Hallis will find Mills. Mills will kick early on the halfway line on tackle number 4, looking to find touch, but it's a great kick because there was no one at home there for York, and Matt Chilton has to race towards its main stand side and stop the ball from going into touch, and he's immediately brought down in a 2-man tackle by Farrell and Gibson. And now Mills, who put the kick in, is coming in to help Farrell out again on tackle 2, bringing down Judah Maziv. Here goes Brad Hay, 8 tries for the Knights in 2018. He's brought down in centre field. Jubb out of dummy half on tackle number 4 will catch Bradford not square, so that's the first penalty the Bulls have conceded this afternoon with 15 minutes gone, leading by 10 points to 0 after those early tries from Ross Oakes and Connor Farrell. Incidentally, we do have the 2 most disciplined sides from Betfred League One in 2018. Both sides just conceding on average 7 penalties a game, so we'll expect a low penalty count from referee Aaron Moore from Wigan this afternoon. But Bradford have put themselves under just a little bit of pressure here because the Knights are 25 metres out from the Bradford line as Connor Robinson's flat pass is picked up by the officials, and that will see York's attack come to naught. Scrum head and feet to the Bradford Bulls, 20 metres out from their own line in centre field, and we're about to see Evan Hodson come on the field. Ross, tell us a little bit about Evan Hodson.
Ev's a young lad, come through academy here. I think I've played with him all the time I've been here. He's made appearances here and there. He's a big, strong boy, and I think he's coming into his own now as he gets older. He's maturing now. He's got a promising future as Ev. He's a big, strong boy. So yeah.
When you think back to that 2017 season under Lee Beattie and Jeff Tuvey, it was pretty much lambs to the slaughter for a lot of the young players like Brandon Pickersgill and Evan Hodson. But they will have learned so much from that experience. Yeah,
they'll have learned a lot from that experience. I learned a lot from that experience, and them lads grew immensely, and I think it were only good for them. And I think we're really going to see them coming to fruition this season now under John Keir. When we're back in Championship, you're going to see these young lads really flourish.
Well, back to the action at Odsal, and Bradford have come up with an error via Mikey Wood on the halfway line. 2 tackles into that set of 6. So Evan Hodson out there, Bradford's second error of the afternoon, and it will be York who will have the feed at this scrum. And once again, Connor Robinson he makes the step up this afternoon. He will skipper the side in the absence of Tim Spears. Don't forget, 3rd of February, that is when the season starts. Bradford against Featherstone. York, incidentally, will be the second visitors here to Odsal on the 24th of February. So we'll be seeing York here at Odsal in around about 9 weeks' time. Penalty count even at 2 penalties apiece. After Bradford, once again, guilty of being inside the 10-metre line. And we're just shy of the quarter mark here at Odsal. 19 minutes gone, and York are going to have a full set of 6, 10 metres out from the Bradford Bulls defensive line. And it's going to be Will Jubb in at dummy half. He will fire the pass there to Bass. Jason Bass, who's just come on wearing 28. He's brought down 5 metres out. Jubb will try and go himself, but the ball's gone to ground. The posts are rocking, and it's another error there from the City Knights. And Ethan, you can tell us a little bit about this defensive line, because Bradford literally, clearly a little bit much fitter from what I've seen in the opening 20 minutes, all racing out of that defensive line. That's giving Will Jubb an acting half for York literally a split second to make that decision, and he's seeing red, amber and black shirts in his eye line.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the first times we've been on his own goal line defending, so we're good to see that intensity still. Like you say, we're 20 minutes in now, and it's good to see that we can have that intensity on his own goal line. Good to keep him out there.
So Bradford will have the scrum 10 metres out from their own line. Gibson will just move it towards this right-hand channel. Gibson down there on his knees, brought down by Jordan Roberts, formerly of the Bulls when we go back to that 2017 season. Hallison at dummy half is looking for options. Finds Hodgson. Hodgson will make 6 metres forward, brought down on his own 30, 20 shy of halfway, centre field. Hallis to Kirk. Kirk will be brought down on tackle number 4. 5 metres short of halfway as it goes now from Hallis to Staunton. Big collision there between Matty Staunton and Jason Bass. Staunton gets the ball out the back door though. Back it comes to Mikey Wood. Mikey Wood looks for support. Pickersgill's taken out off the ball, and that is a penalty to the Bradford Bulls. And one has to say, if Pickersgill's not taken out, it's a foot race between Pickersgill and Chilton.
Yeah, you know, good bit of footwork, good offload from Mikey Wood, good offload from Stoz. You know, that's where Pick's dangerous, just darting front middle. And yeah, if he wasn't taken out, it could have been a nailed-on try, that.
Tell you something, Matty Staunton continues to impress. Great tenacity, great dexterity there to get the ball out the back door, sucking in those 3 York City Knights defenders, and here he is on tackle number 1. Matty Staunton to Milnes, to Hodgson. Hodgson on tackle 2. 12 metres out in front of the post. Hodgson gets up a little bit groggily. Looks like he's got a bit of cramp on that left knee as it goes out to Chisholm. Chisholm to Wood, and Mikey Wood's gone without the ball. And the York City Knights defence will come back at the Bulls, and Evan Hodgson is down, interfering with play, and the physio comes on, and this is not what we want to see, Ross, after the injuries and that Evan Hodgson has had placed on him.
Yeah, you know, he's just come back from injury. It's his first game back from injury, and yeah, it's a bit worrying to see. You know, you don't want to see him go down like that. Hopefully it's just a little knock and he's all good.
Well, Kath Whited joining us this afternoon on Bulls Live. So too, Wooly Bully. And Wooly Bully says, great start. Also Val Turner joining us. Any questions for the boys, let us know. We'll try and read them out. But Evan Hodgson thankfully back to his feet, but he looks to be in a little bit of discomfort. And let's not forget the Bradford Bulls 2019 squad, 11 new additions, albeit 5 were part of the 2018 squad. And we're going to see John Magrin come on for Evan Hodgson, so hopefully nothing too serious for young Evan Hodgson. As we said, he had to recover from broken ribs last season in the under-19s Academy Championship, and just a little bit concerning, but he's walking off the field. Liam Kirk goes over, consoles him, pats him on the head, and I'm sure we'll get the injury update from John Keir at full time. But as we said, 11 new additions in this Bradford squad. Callum Bustin, Jake Webster, James Green, John Magrin, Jordan Lilly, D. Foggin Johnston, Mikey Wood, Matty Wilde, Jai Hitchcox, Connor Farrell, Reese Evans, Busting Green, Lilly, Wood and Hitchcox, all part of the 2018 squad. So Evan Hodson just being taken down the tunnel, gets a round of applause from the supporters on this main stand side. And with 22 minutes gone here at Odsal Stadium, it is still Ross Oakes and Connor Farrell. Those two tries giving Bradford a 10-0 lead in a game that has been billed as the grand final that never was. So York, 10 metres shy of the halfway line, inside their own half, as it goes from Jubb to Robinson. And Connor Robinson's going to be brought down on the halfway line. That'll be the fifth and last tackle. It will go back to Matty Marsh. Marsh will send the spiralling bomb up. Pickersgill takes it. He's lost it backwards towards his own line, but he's immediately wrestled down by Ash Robson. Ethan, let's just bring you in here a second here. Just how difficult is it to be under one of those spiralling balls?
I mean, it's hard enough, but obviously you take the weather and the conditions into account, and it's twice as hard. Pulling it back, but yeah, like I say, at least if you do drop it and you catch the ball, you aim to twist your body backwards. So if you do drop it, it does come out backwards, which is what Pickers did there. So it was smart from him. He knows how tough it is to catch them balls, so it was smart from him there and what he did.
John Magrin has just carried the ball in for the first time back in the red, amber and black. He was, of course, part of the fabric here under Lee Beattie and Jeff Tuvey. Spent the whole of 2018 at Sheffield, but he's back at Odsal in 2019. It's the last tackle. It'll go Hallis, Milnes to Chisholm. Is Chisholm about to sprinkle some magic on proceedings? It goes back to D. Foggin Johnston. Foggin Johnston will kick straight down the throat of Judah Maziv, and Judah Maziv takes that with a lot of confidence because he's met there by Mikey Wood and John Magrin in a two-man tackle. And Matt Chilton will scamper now on the second tackle out of dummy half as York look to get some ascendancy and look to get some control back in this game as it goes out to the former Hulkington Rovers man, Liam Salter. Salter's brought down 25 out from that Bradford try line as it goes once again from Jubb to Blackburrow. Blackburrow's brought down just to the left-hand side of the post. Good field position here for the City Knights. Robinson to Marsh. Marsh tries to get past Pickersgill. Can't, but it's a high tackle, says the referee, and it's another penalty. So 3 penalties apiece now here at Odsal, and this one will put the Bulls under pressure on their own defensive line. This one's awarded 10 metres out. Matty Marsh is going to be looking for options. It'll go to Connor Robinson. Robinson to Porter. Porter, 7 tries in 2018, and Porter will play the ball 5 metres away from that Bradford try line. Robinson keeps it going to Marsh. Marsh felled there by Ashley Gibson. Gibson racing out that defensive line, going for the legs. It's with ball in hand from Robinson. Robinson out towards that right-hand edge to Peterson. Peterson is brought down by Magrin. And here we go, the York City Knights, they've got numbers in the middle. It goes towards Porter. Joe Porter tries to reach out and score, but he's wrestled back. That's the 4th tackle. The tackle remaining here for the Bulls to defend. The City Knights brought down as it goes out to Robinson. Robinson out wide. Oakes, if he takes that in the arms, he might be good night Vienna. But he's just touched the ball, and it'll be scrum headed feed to the City Knights. Effectively, Oakes stopping the try there, Ethan.
Yeah, I think we got left short a little bit there on the edge. But like I say, if there's a means to stop the try, and that's what it takes, then that's what we'll do. So, like I say, they're still scoreless, and I know they've got another set, but let's see if we can keep them out.
25 minutes gone. That Bradford side once again. Pickersgill fullback, D. Foggin Johnson. Oakes, Gibson, Hitchcox, your wing 3/4 line, the halves, Milnes and Chisholm, and the forwards, Kirk, Hallis, Busting, Farrell, Staunton and Wood. And on the bench, Magrin, Foster, Lily, Hodson, Cullen, Doyle, Stevenson and Rickett. So from the scrum, the York City Knights once again knocking on that Bulls door, but this Bradford Bulls defensive line all communicating. Pickersgill telling Magrin to front up in the middle. Magrin's now moving on that right-hand edge, but Ross Oakes, though, will race out. And that's a fantastic tackle from Ross Oakes there to stop that York City Knights move that was heading towards the far stand side. Josh Jordan Roberts calling for the ball on this left-hand edge. Will he get it? Because York in front of the Bulls post. Matty Marsh with ball in hand, pulls the trigger. Robinson kicks ahead for Roberts. And that was great play there from Jai Hitchcocks. Jai Hitchcocks, he has clear path ahead of him, but Judah Maziv just brings him down and wraps him up. And Judah Maziv could have been penalised there. The referee giving Maziv a huge benefit of the doubt there, as Hallis will fire it into the arms of Gibson, and Gibson's brought down on tackle number 2. And this time the City Knights have been penalised for laying on in the tackle. And I've got to say something. A bold prediction here, Ross. If that is a dry track in July, Jai Hitchcocks has gone the distance there.
I know Judah's quite quick, so yeah, it'll be quite a foot race that, because he did make up some ground. So I'd be interested to see it on a ground track. It'd be a good race that.
Bradford keeping the pressure going. 12 minutes out from half time. They'll tap the ball 20 metres out. If you're just joining us on Bulls Live, Bulls TV, tries from Oakes and Farrell, giving Bradford a 10-0 lead, as John Magrin will go through the heart and soul of this York defence. 2 metres out from that Bradford try line. Hallison at dummy half. A short-looking pass, and we're underneath the sticks. It's Mikey Wood. He signed the deal after the season had finished, and he, the 22-year-old, will enjoy that one. That's his first try of the season.
Yeah, you know, that's a try I enjoyed, you know, 2 big runs from us forwards, you know, and they were looking for play out back. Sam's just jumped out, great smarts, tipped Mikey through, and you know, Mikey was a great player in that line, and always get that over there.
Sponsored by Declan and Lachlan Smith, leaving it for number 13, Mikey Wood.
Mikey Wood, 3 tries last season, and as we said, he made a huge impact, a huge contribution, Ross, when you think about it, because there was many times when I spoke to both him and Liam Johnson. Have you had any feedback from Rick Stone? Have you had any feedback from Simon Wolford? And they were basically cast aside.
Yeah, I think, you know, them two were, you know, cast out really. Huddersfield weren't really paying them no mind. And, you know, Mikey's come here, he's found a home at Bradford. And, you know, testament to Mikey and Kirky, because, you know, there's 10 minutes left in half, first game of pre-season. They're still going, still powering through, and you know, Mikey's getting up there, he's getting over the line, you know, his engine's immense, you know. I admire it because I can't do minutes like him. So yeah, he's amazing, Mikey.
Some honesty and reflection there from Ross Peltier. Dane Chisholm from in front to add the extra 2. That one will go between the posts over that red, amber and black dot. And on Bulls Live and Bulls TV here at Onsell Stadium, there's no post-Christmas blues for the Bulls. They lead 16-0, 30 minutes gone. 3 tries to 0 in the grand final. That never was. Oakes, Farrell and Wood. Chisholm, 2 from 3 attempts.
Number 7, Dane Chisholm.
And we've still yet to see Cullen, Doyle, Stevenson or Rickett or Keelan Foster. I'm sure John Kay will mix that up in the second half. But a good take there by Defogging Johnston. And Defogging Johnston will carry the ball up towards the Bradford 20-metre line on the restart. So, final 10 minutes of the first half here at Onsell Stadium. 3 tries, 16 points already scored. The Bulls in control of this one as the try scorer Mikey Wood wants to get involved in the action. He'll be brought down by Peterson and Brown. 15 out from the halfway line as they look to shift the ball on this right-hand edge as it goes from Hallis to Milnes to Farrell. Farrell brought down in a 2-man tackle. Hallis will go back down the central reservation with Magrin. John Magrin wrapped up on the last tackle for the Bulls. Chisholm will look to put pressure on Matt Chilton. Chilton's called for it. There's a bit of hesitation. In the end, it's Ash Robson who'll come in. 17 tries for the Knights in 2018, and that was a great take there from Ash Robson. He was confident that he could do it, and the Knights there just losing the footing. 18 away from their own try line. Judah Maziv looks for an opening between Gibson and Milnes. as Conor Farrell goes for the legs. And I've got to say something here, Ross. Conor Farrell, his tackling, I haven't been marking the tacklings, but he must have done nearly 30 tackles already in this first half.
Yeah, you know, he's one of them workhorse players. He's put some right work in, and every tackle's been a good quality shot. You know, I've played him many a times. He's one of them players who, you know, if you go in it, you're gonna got to be ready for a big contact. And yeah, he's really digging deep. Him and Sam Ellis are putting in an immense effort. You know, him and Sammy, them players will tackle all day for us.
Well, we're about to see Thomas Doyle and Keelan Foster come on for their Bradford Bulls home debut. So Thomas Doyle will come on in place of Sam Hallis. And for those that have been regular viewers and listeners to our under-19s coverage last season, you'll know that I've commented more than once on Thomas Doyle, his physical appearance and his attributes out there on the field. Very reminiscent of the late, great Terry Newton, and what a player he can be for the Bulls in the years to come. And Doyle will find Magrin. Magrin's going to be brought down 25 metres out from that York try line. Still going forward, Magrin looks for the support. He's brought down on the last tackle. The 20 out, it'll go to Milnes. Milnes crossfield kick looking for Hitchcocks and Gibson. Maziv calls for it, Maziv takes it. Hitchcocks will try wrestling behind his own goal line, but Maziv lands and falls the right side of the York try line, and with 6 minutes remaining here at Odsal Stadium, it still remains 16 points to nil. What do you reckon John Keir's going to be saying at half-time, Ross?
I think he's going to be very happy. You know, forwards have laid a platform. We've won the territory battle. You know, when we've got in there third, we've been dangerous. We've scored. We've got over. We've defended well on our goal line. You know, we've barred up. We've had them have 2 back-to-back sets, and you know, we've kept them out. So we'll be very happy. You know, so yeah, it should be positive going at half-time.
When I was speaking to John Keir on the touchline before the game, you know, yes, some things are going to be rusty, but there's been certainly a lot of effort and endeavour out there, and a lot of tenacity from the Bradford players. And credit to Brandon Pickersgill there. Difficult kick to take. He lets it bounce. The bounce is kind, and he's brought down there on tackle number 1 on this fresh set of 6 here for the Bulls, just inside their own 20-metre line. Defogging Johnson in at dummy half. Looks for options, decides to let the forwards have a breather for a small 5-metre gain. Doyle now in there at his customary position to Mikey Wood. Mikey Wood brought down there by Jordan Roberts and Blackburn in a 2-man tackle. And there's an error there in at dummy half, so York will have perhaps a chance with 5 minutes remaining to go to half-time, 35 metres out. Just the 3rd error in this first half from John Keir's side. And Ethan, what do we reckon to James Ford? Because he's a very young coach in the sport. He's done a great job at York, as well as contributing with the England Academy team, who beat the schoolboys 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the success he had this past year. Obviously, he's took York to promotion, got them to finish top in the League One season. Credit to them, and then he's gone on to coach the team, or helped coach the team, the England schoolboys, and you saw what they did and how they performed when they beat the Aussies 2-0. So yeah, it's been a great year for him, and a good year for York as well.
Well, here come York. Let's see if the Bulls' defence can keep and withstand this pressure from the City Knights. They're 10 metres out with 2 tackles remaining in the bag. 5 minutes exactly on the countdown clock to our left as it goes to Matty Marsh, to Robinson to Jordan Roberts. Jordan Roberts brought down by Farrell and Milnes and Magrin. The Bulls hunting in 2s and 3s. They've got that wolf pack mentality as it breaks down at the ruck there, as Dave Peterson is just smothered on the last tackle. York, flat pass, they're over the line, the try won't count. The touch judge has stood his ground on the far stand side. And Thomas Doyle and Brandon Pickersgill, they tried to stop the ball being grounded. The try won't count, forward pass. And that's the second time, and I think this goes back, Ross, a little bit to what John Keir was saying. Both sides evidently are going to be a little bit rusty this afternoon.
Yeah, they're a little bit rusty, but I think, you know, these forward passes on line are coming from our pressure and then panicking. You know, we're getting up, we're pressuring people. Their forwards are trying to jump the gun, trying to get into the space before it's shut down. And I think, it's testament to his goal line D, because even when he got over then, Pickers and Doyle held him up anyway, so it would never have been a try even if it wasn't a forward pass. So, Yeah, it's been a good effort today.
Well, players just halted here while there's a bit of concern to Joe Porter of the City Knights. So with 4.5 minutes remaining on the clock, it is Boxing Day 2018. Second place Bradford against top of the table York. If it was a league game. Tries from Ross Oakes in the 7th minute after great cut-out pass between Milnes and Chisholm. Stretched the York line. That lead was doubled effectively 5 minutes later after a telepathic kick from Rowan Milnes behind the York line. Connor Farrell racing onto the ball and touching down. And then after some great forward play from Matty Staunton, Liam Kirk, Mikey Wood crashed underneath the sticks and Chisholm converted, and that is how we stand at 16 points to 0. So Joe Porter will leave the field with a knock, and the referee Aaron Moore just waiting for Porter to leave the field before blowing the whistle, and we're back underway as Doyle will just carry the ball out of dummy half. He's brought down by Robinson and Jordan Roberts, also Perry Whitley in that tackle over on this main stand side. Milnes in at dummy half. Finds Jai Hitchcocks. Hitchcocks, we all remember his telling contribution in that grand final promotion win against Workington Town here, 27 points to 8. I'll ask Ross and Ethan a little bit later on if they've stopped partying, but there was certainly a lot of sights in the days afterwards. Magrin gets up, plays the ball. Here goes Keelan Foster. Foster, who played in the Yorkshire Academy side, who narrowly lost to Australia at Castleford a couple of weeks ago. He gets Bradford firing on all cylinders. It's the last tackle. Doyle in at dummy half to Chisholm. Chisholm 5 metres inside the York half. Will kick into space. Defogging Johnson. It was a half chance. Has that come off a York foot though? The referee says no. And Ash Robson can consider himself extremely lucky there, Ethan, because I thought that took a little knock.
Don't think he'd be any good at football, would he, with that touch?
So chance gone begging there. And it's a scrum to the City Knights on the far stand side, 15 out from their own line. Just looking at the body language of John Keir, certainly looks to be enjoying the festive pre-season friendly this afternoon. Here goes Judah Maziv. 2 tries here against the Bulls when the York City Knights beat the Bulls 30 points to 28 back in July. In at dummy half this time will be Reese Rushworth, who's currently on the match-by-match trial. Matt Chilton also out there directing the traffic. They're up to the halfway line here, the City Knights. Chisholm in defence for the Bulls. Ash Robson out of dummy half, still going forward. Ash Robson looks to get the ball away, but he can't. Wrapped up there on the last tackle. Referee Aaron Moore, left arm raised aloft. It's going to go back in centre field to Connor Robinson. Robinson straight down the throat of Hitchcocks. Hitchcocks taken by Jordan Roberts, gets the ball out to Gibson, and risky stuff there because there was certainly a hunt for the ball from Brad Hay. And with 2.5 minutes to go to the half-time hoot-turn, Bradford leading 16-0. Job well done thus far in this first half as the second year of John Keir's plan to get the Bulls back into Super League certainly bears more fruit. Doyle in at dummy half on that left-hand edge. Matty Staunton, absolutely immense running forward there. Still going forward, Matty Staunton. Carries Bradford 20 metres forward at such a young age. Quick play the ball, and it's another penalty to the Bradford Bulls with 60 seconds on the clock. And in the blink of an eye, the Bulls now lead the penalty count by 6 penalties to 3. And Dane Chisholm wants to send this into that far stand corner over on the far stand side. And with 30 seconds remaining, Bradford, they're going to have a couple of play the balls inside the York City Knights 20-metre line, and they're about to get a 4th try in this Boxing Day clash at Odsall Stadium. The lead 16-0 It's going to go to Chisholm. Crossfield kick looking for Jai Hitchcox. Hitchcox flies through the air like Superman. Touches down. It is a 4th try for the Bradford Bulls. Heartbreak for the City Knights, but job well done for the Bulls in this first half. They lead 20 points to 0 as the hooter sounds.
Yeah, you saw that link-up play then from Chisholm Jai. They did that a lot back end of the year last year, and just got to show that they haven't lost anything there. And great to get a try in the half-time hooter. It's such a blow that for York.
We all know, Ethan, about the bromance from the Mullen-Bimby brothers. Is that concerned because Dane did that to you for 15 try assists this season gone? Are we about to see a role reversal? Is it all now going to go down the left, the right?
Nah, Chiz knows the score. Chiz knows the score.
And Ross, what a sucker punch for the Bulls to deliver the City Knights. Matty Staunton, another one of the young forwards coming off the Odsal conveyor belt, wriggling around, determined to get that quick play of the ball in, wins the penalty. That gives the Bulls the field position.
You know, it's what John says, you know, if we run hard, things will happen for us, you know. Stoz with an awesome carry there, draws the penalty, get field position. Jimmy Magrid, awesome carry again, you know, gets a quick play ball for Chiz to play out back. You know, it's all about us doing the things right, and that link-up play. Then, like I said, get us in anybody's 13 would be very dangerous this year. And, you know, forwards are showing that they can lay that platform, and I think that's what York have been struggling for, that platform for them to play off back of. So, yeah, everyone's going well today. I'm impressed.
Half-time here at Odsal. We hope everybody joining us this afternoon has enjoyed the festive season. Merry Christmas to one and all. And let's not forget, the next time either of these two sides will be in action will be next year in 2019, because it will be the small matter of the K2 Yorkshire Cup. That kicks off next weekend with two great double headers. First off, on Saturday the 5th of January, it'll see the York City Knights head to the Tetley Stadium, Dewsbury, for their clash against Hunslick Parkside. That game is a 1 p.m. kickoff and will be followed by Dewsbury against Featherstone at 3:30. Whilst next Sunday, the 6th of January, that will see Bradford welcome Halifax in the second round of the K2 Yorkshire Cup. And prior to that, there will be a 1 p.m. kickoff for Batley against Hunslet. Any subsequent fixtures will be drawn at the end of the first weekend, and as all clubs are guaranteed 3 games, that K2 Yorkshire Cup does really promise to be a fantastic competition to start the pre-season. And it's great to see unity amongst the championship clubs, certainly those here in West and North Yorkshire. So on the restart, back underway, Bradford leading 20 points to 0. They're up to the halfway on the last tackle. Chisholm will kick downtown. It'll be stopped there by Ash Robson, and Robson will be immediately brought down on his own 30-metre line. Ross Peltier, we've had a couple of questions from the listeners at half-time, and one has come in from Concrete, and it basically said, what game or games is Ross Peltier most looking forward to in 2019?
All games, really. I'm excited to be back in Championship. Might sound like a diplomatic answer, but, you know, especially Halifax derbies, there is a big game. One at Summer Bash, you know, I think fans will be looking forward to that. So that'll be a very big occasion, because I enjoyed myself last time against OKR.
Well, you just mentioned Halifax there, of course, the visitors here to Odsal next Sunday in the K2 Yorkshire Cup. That one promises to be a ripper, and as you've already mentioned, the Bulls will play Halifax home and away in the league, and they'll also play them at the Summer Bash, and potentially there could be a 5th meeting in the Championship playoffs as we move towards the end of the season. So York City Knights and the Bulls, we've had 2.5 minutes gone, a clean start to the second half. We had 9 penalties in that first half, and just as I say a clean start, I've put the curse on the Bulls as an error at dummy half from Keelan Foster. We'll see York have the ball 35 metres out from the Bradford line. Ross, we can just imagine what John Key has been saying to the Bulls players. Have you got any words of confidence for the York side?
I think, you know, they have done they have done things good, you know. They have pressured us, they have built pressure, you know. They've had a few back-to-back sets, but I think for them it is a thing of being rusty, you know. So I think they'll take great art. I think Frieldly have been saying, you know, if they come out, come get us, take game to us, they can find something, because these conditions, as you see with Keelan playing ball, offer some mistakes. You know, we'll give a penalty there. So, you know, I think they've just got to come out and really get us and put us under pressure and see how good we actually are this pre-season.
Well, the referee quick to award York their first penalty of the afternoon, and Dave Peterson playing in at dummy half, looking for options, and it's going to go down the centre channel, and here goes Jubb now. Jubb attacking that Bradford line on, fires the ball into the arms of Bass. Bass is over the line for the City Knights, but he's held up. Good scrambling defence there from Ross Oakes, who stops Bass from getting the ball down, and the Knights will go back to the 10. So, James Ford's side not without having their chances here, as it goes out towards Connor Robinson. Robinson to Jordan Roberts. Roberts is going to be brought down by Mills, who of course James Ford was coaching in that England Academy setup. But Connor Robinson for the York City Knights. He's got the ball down, has he? But he's held up again. And that was good scrambling defence from the Bulls. York, twice in this set of 6, held up on top of that Bradford line. And Connor Robinson has got to go back to the 10. And he'll play the ball on the last. And it's going to be his charge towards the line. It's brute force there. And the York City Knights have the try. It's Reece Wushruff, I believe, wearing 18. Wow. It's 20 points to 4.
Well, you know, I think that's come from, you know, we put ourselves under pressure with a mistake. You know, we held them up there. We held them up again. I think it was a bit of fatigue there. I think, you know, it is, because it's quite out wide. A and B didn't get out quick enough, you know, it give that lane for the forward to just power through. You know, we've got to be a lot tighter. We've got to be a lot more, a lot tighter there. So, you know, I think that's a soft try. I think we'll be disappointed with that try because we've not beat us with no skill or nothing. It was just literally, you know, that half a second too slow to get off, and we left the gap there. So, yeah, poor try.
Well, it wasn't number 18, it was number 16, Ronan Dixon. He didn't score last season, but he's got his account for 2019 up and running here. And Connor Robinson, very prolific with a boot, will attempt to narrow the gap from 16 to 14, and that was on the back, as Ross said, a soft penalty, and just a bit of a defensive lapse there. Robinson in front of the South Bank stand. That one goes between the posts, and it's 20 points to 6 here on Bulls Live, Bulls TV. And Ross, from a player's point of view, after you've had such a great first half and you've conceded an early try, what will the messages be coming on from John Keir?
It's just nothing changes, back to our mentality from the start, you know. Let's get back into this arm wrestle. Just get yourself back into the game, you know. That's a shaky, slow start. You don't really dwell on it, you just brush it off, and, you know, game starts from this kick-off.
Chisholm's restart at Bradford 20, York 6. Taken on the far stand side. Brad Hay has lost the ball in the tackle, but it's been stolen by Mikey Wood. Keelan Foster also in there. So 2 early penalties at the start of this second half are going to give York good field position once again. Penny Whitley will tap it. He will show and go, and he's up to halfway. So if you're just joining us, it was 20 points to 0 at half-time. Oakes, Farrell, Wood and Hitchcox. But that lead of 20 has just been closed down, narrowed to just 14. 20 points to 6, and here come York again. Ronan Dixon looking to punch another huge hole in this Bulls defence, but he's not getting past the big frame of John Magrin, the Jamaican international. And as we touched upon in the first half, Jamaica, wow, there will be a lot of colour, a lot of passion in those stands in 2021. Connor Robinson tries to drop the shoulder, go past Mills, gets the ball going. York are in for another try, and the ball has been grounded there by Ash Robson. And the Bulls, they've just switched off ever so slightly, and they've gone back to back of the City Knights. Game back on at Odsall, 20 points to 10.
Yeah, I think that's come from, I think we've got a bit tired in middle, we've got a bit loose. Penalties aren't helping us. We've just got to restart, big kick, keep them down there. I think, like I said, York, they had to come get us from the off, and that's what they've done. They've come out flying, and it's time for the bigger characters out there to front up and lead us through this time now. Just got to weather this storm. Games has turns, and York are having a bit of a purple patch, but we've just got to weather it now.
Well, York City Knights boss James Ford fully expects his side to put the bodies on the line this afternoon, and they certainly have, despite that 20-0 deficit at half-time. But oh boy, the opening 7.5 minutes of this second half have seen the Knights come alive, and Connor Robinson's conversion from in front of the post narrows that gap now from 20 to just 8 points. It's 20 points to 12 here on Bulls Live, Bulls TV. Mick Liddell, Ross Peltier, Ethan Ryan in the first half. And Dave Chisholm will tee the ball up on the halfway line with the right boot. Sends it straight down the throat of the try scorer, Ash Robson. Very prolific. York's top try scorer last season, 17 tries. And that is just what John Keir would have wanted. Connor Farrell meets Perry Whitley on the York 20, and Perry Whitley has come up with the error, Ross. Scrum, head and feet to the Bulls, 20 metres out, a first chance of the second half for the Bulls.
Yeah, I think that's just what we needed right there. Connor Farrell spoke about his tackling, put a big shot on. It's greasy, it's wet. The ball's going to come out in big contacts here, and that's what we've done. And now, I think we've got another chance to get more points on the ball, because we're dangerous in this area.
Chisholm to Staunton from the base of the scrum. Staunton. Still going, Matty Staunton. Brought down 12 metres out. He's been handed the number 12 jersey this afternoon. Here goes John Magrin. Tackle number 2. Bradford 8 metres out in front of the post. Centre field position. Connor Farrell calling for the ball on that right hand edge. Chisholm pointing towards D. Fogging Johnson. It's going to go to Farrell via Mills. Farrell towards the line. Is held up on top, so we'll go back towards the 10. Good striding, scrambling defence there from the City Knights. And Farrell will be forced to play the ball. It goes now to Mills. Mills to Magrin. Mills taken late off the ball, but the referee says it's fine and legal. Magrin wrapped up on the last tackle in front of the post. Doyle at dummy half to Mills. Mills, crossfield kick, looking for Hitchcocks. It bounces into the own goal area. And for Judah Maziv, he realised that there was just a little bit too much weight on that, and it will bounce the right side for York. It will be a set of 6 from the 20-metre line for the York City Knights. So for those just joining us late, perhaps in the second half, I'll just go through the two sides once again. Bradford had Pickersgill at fullback, Wigfrey quarter line, D. Fogging Johnson, Ross Oakes, Ashley Gibson, Jai Hitchcocks, the halves this afternoon, Mills and Chisholm. The forwards for the Bulls, Kirk Hallis, Busting, Farrell, Staunton and Wood. Hallis currently off the field for Doyle. And then it's Magrin, Foster, Lilly, Hodgson, Culling, Doyle, Stevenson and Ricky. And we're about to see Jordan Lilly come on for his first taste of action ahead of the new season. York up to halfway. 2 early tries at the start of this second half. Bradford have reassembled. And that solidity in defence back there as Mills leads that defensive line on that left-hand edge. Aided and abetted by Connor Farrell. That's the 4th tackle gone for the Knights. Robinson to Jordan Roberts. Jordan Roberts meets Foster down the middle. And a scampering run out of dummy half from Will Jubb to Dave Peterson, and Peterson wrapped up the former Bulls man on that last tackle. What will the City Knights do here? Matty Marsh gets the ball alive. Chisholm's knocked it on here. The referee's going to give head and feet to the York City Knights here. Dane Chisholm just had a bit of a stray arm out to get it. It's one of those 50-50 calls, but I think the official just got it right, and we're going to see just how good this Bulls defence has been, Ross.
Yeah, we just got to dig deep here. I think it's no drama, no panic. D up this set. You know, it was a 7 tackle set, so it was one of them puts under pressure, but could have gone either way. But yeah, we just D up this set. You know, some new forwards coming on, Lily and Carl Busting back to steady it ship. So yeah, we just got to dig deep now.
The York City Knights will attack this right-hand edge towards Chisholm and Johnson, and Ash Robson perhaps allowed a little bit too much room there for John Keir's liking, but Magrin comes up and brings him down 10 metres out from the Bradford line, and big John Magrin there, look at him, he's like a figure from the Bible. He will be pleased with that because he's forced Ash Robson into the error on tackle number 1, and Bradford's defence stands firm with 13 minutes gone at the start of this second half. 27 minutes remain here at Odsal in this festive fixture, billed as the grand final that never was between the top 2 sides from Betfred League 1, and it remains Bradford 20, York 12. Hallis and Kirk about to come back on the field. Magrin gives Kirk the high five as he leaves the field. Kirk comes on, Hallis coming on for Doyle. And Jordan Lilly also out there now for the first time, and Lilly's going to go in at dummy half, and Jordan Lilly's first taste of action in 2018 is going to be a pass on the right-hand edge to Connor Farrell, and Farrell gets the legs pumping forward. Bradford on their own 30-metre line. Lilly decides to go towards the left, towards the centre of the field, with the strike of Busting. Busting's brought down 8 metres short of halfway on the last tackle. They're in centre field, the Bulls. It goes to Chisholm. Chisholm under pressure, gets the kick away, but it's been taken on this right-hand edge, albeit palmed back towards his own try line by Kevin Brown, and York looking to get away with that one. It's certainly getting a little bit intense out there. I think the festive friendly measure has gone out of the window. It's almost like a real blood, guts and thunder league game, as Will Jubb with a scrum cap will come back out there on the field, and here we'll see Jack Teambay attacking those Bulls markers. Just shy of the halfway line, penalty count even. So Ross, 6-3 the penalty count at half time to the Bulls. We've just seen 3 quick penalties now to the City Knights, 6 penalties apiece.
Yeah, I think he's trying, most fresh, he's trying weaving it up. I think, especially that one there, I can't see where the penalty was there at all. It was a dominant tackle. Yeah, but one of them, that always happens in the game. Penalty swing, go either way. It's evening up now, and it's just about how we react to it.
Jubb, ball in hand, 30 out from the Bradford line. We'll give it on that left-hand edge. And Joe Porter still not returned to action. Neither has Evan Hodgson. Both players picking up injuries in that first half. Here goes Matty Marsh. Matty Marsh trying to glide past Matty Staunton. He had a bit of momentum with him. He's gone forward another extra 5 metres and he's inside the Bradford 10-metre line. York looking for a third try in this second half. They were trailing 20 points to 0, but Dixon and Robson have got them firmly back in this Boxing Day fixture. Jubb out of dummy half, goes to Connor Robinson. Connor Robinson to Jordan Roberts. Roberts towards the line. He's held up, and that will be the last tackle. Scrambling defence for the Bulls. They have to watch for the Connor Robinson kick. Connor Robinson's kick in there, and it's going to be Brandon Pickersgill who saves the day. He will palm that over the dead ball line, and we've got the first goal line dropout of the game, and we're about to hear the war cry of "Come on, your Bulls, go round Odsal" for the first time.
We've got these new rules on dropouts now. The 30 seconds to take it. Is that going on? Well, it'd be interesting to see how that dropout rule works. Yeah.
Well, the referee looking at his watch. I think in the Super League, Ross, they're going to have the countdown clock similar to the NRL. Yeah. But there you go, 30 seconds, and we're back underway. Hopefully that will speed the game up in 2019, and it's a good restart because it's made York recover the ball on that left edge, although they're looking to get back involved, and Perry Whitley coming down that left-hand edge, and we're about to see another player come on from John Keir, so he's ringing the changes here. Josh Rickett's about to come on wearing 14 over on that left-hand edge, but York still inside the Bradford 10. Jubb has ball in hand after taking the pass there from Whitley, and he's going to be brought down 8 metres away from that Bradford try line, just to the left of centre field as it goes out to Dixon. Dixon to Marsh. Marsh will front up and he's brought down in a two-man tackle, and the Bulls have forced the error, and it's Matty Staunton, and Jordan Lilly embraces him there in front of the Bulls line. And I've got to say something here, Ross. I know that there was a bit of a cagey start to the second half after the early tries from Dixon and Robson, but this Bulls defence fine-tuned and it's back on point.
Yeah, you know, a bit shaky. You know, you're going to be sometimes half-time comes at the wrong moment. So, yeah, we're going good. I think John's got a big thing. We practice a lot of goal line D, and he tells us to be desperate. We've got to be desperate, and I think that's what you're seeing from Stods there, you know, desperation, and just keep holding them out, yeah.
Just short of 60 minutes gone here at Odsall. 20 points to 12. Bradford lead. Tries from Oakes, Farrell, Wood and Hitchcock's in that first half. Dixon and Robson for the Knights in this second half. Lilly out of dummy half. Looking at his options. Busting calling for it. Hallis now playing second row. Once again, the competition for places. If you've got the utility value, that's a big, giant green tick in John Keir's eyes. Lilly in at dummy half. Probing. Towards Farrell. Farrell out wide. Mrs. Gibson finds Hitchcock's. Bradford haven't gone on that right-hand edge too often in this second half. It's been predominantly played down the middle as it goes from Lilly to Kirk. Last tackle for the Bulls. They're on halfway. It's going to go back to Chisholm, centre field. High, hanging kick. Pressure coming up from Hallis. Hallis drops on Brown, and Brown takes it, but Hallis immediately smothers him, wraps him up, and he's going to be brought down on his own 20-metre line. And once again, this Bradford Bulls, well-marshalled, well-drilled defence, will ask questions of the York City Knights attack. Judah Maziv on the third tackle. Wrestle backwards towards his own line. York losing ground and momentum here. Third tackle gone on this set as it goes from Robson to Marcus Stock. Stock gets a quick play of the ball in. Going to go down this left edge with Teambay. Teambay brought down on the last tackle. York restricted to just 35 metres on that set of six there. Jubb at dummy half to Robinson. Robinson looking to put Pickersgill under pressure. Pickersgill takes it, twists, turns. Has he got the feet to avoid capture? No, he hasn't. Three black-shirted City Knights defenders there bring him down inside his own 10-metre line, and the Bulls have got a bit of work to do as Josh Rickett comes on the field and he's immediately brought down where the play of the ball commenced. Here goes Fogging Johnson. Johnson making 15 metres forward. Tries to win a penalty. Gets the penalty. York guilty of laying on in the tackle, and the referee, Aaron Moore, will point at Will Jubb, and the penalty's awarded 25 metres out from the Bulls line, and this is the piggyback. This could be the catalyst, Ross, for some more Bulls points.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think why John brought D in, you know, Rico's come on. I think, you know, they're good, wiry, electric players, you know, get us on the front foot, help us forwards out, getting us out of that 10, and, you know, D showed testament there. You know, for a small lad, he's quite strong, you know, quick, and yeah, he's got us a much penalty, and I think, you know, changed field position for us.
Jordan Lilly, straight from the ruck, 10, 15, nearly 20 metres made there from Jordan Lilly. Second tackle gone. The Bulls are inside the York 20 now. They're looking hungry for points. Hallis straight down the middle, wrapped up, brought down, 15 out. 3 tackles gone. Lilly to Kirk. Kirk misses out busting to Milnes. On that right-hand edge, they'll go to Gibson. Gibson's brought down. Gibson, of course, the first try scorer for the Bulls in that 22-20 win at Bootham Crescent. A kick there, bit of miscommunication from the Bulls as Ash Robson will return the kick from Milnes. Milnes was looking round for the support. Everybody off script there, and a chance gone begging. 62 minutes gone here at Odsall. It's still Bulls Live, Bulls TV, Bradford 20, York 12. in a bit of a tight, close one. Jubb in at dummy half. Gives it towards the big frame. That's a good two-man tackle there from the Bulls. Chisholm coming in with Hallis. They're on the halfway line, the City Knights. As it goes to Matty Marsh. Out it goes to Robinson. Robinson wrapped up there by Milnes. The 2 sixes collide there on the halfway line. And that's the last tackle here for the York City Knights. Centre field. Matty Marsh under pressure. It's took a bit of a ricochet. It's only going to come down 5 metres inside the Bradford half. First knock on from Matty Marsh. He couldn't take it. Sorry, from Ash Robson. He couldn't take it. He had an air swing at it. And the referee will say that will just be a play the ball, and Bradford will play the ball on their own 45-metre mark. So Ross, we've had 20 minutes gone of the start of the second half. Give us an assessment.
Yeah, I mean, just on that there, that shows the energy Jordan Lilly brings. You know, he's pressuring, hunting down everybody. Got Connor Robinson caught with ball. You know, he couldn't kick on last. It's gone to Ash Robson. You know, Lilly's then pressured him, forced him to do a poor kick. You know, that shows how everyone's buying in to be desperate. Everyone's buying in to defend for the team, and I think we've seen a shaky start. You know, that's to be expected. It's pre-season. You know, day after Christmas. But yeah, the boys have rallied. We've manned up. We've fronted up, and yeah, I think you're getting a taste of the desire to defend, and you know how dangerous we are in attack. Look at that, another kick there. Judah Massif held on his own ball line. I think, you know, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing with the boys, but I'm not surprised because of how good of an off-season we've had. And yeah, I think there's good times to come in 2019. Alex
Stevenson has just come on for his home debut. Brandon Pickersgill leaves the field, so the final 17 minutes will see young 18-year-old Alex Stevenson at fullback. He made his debut for the Bulls in the 24-0 away pre-season defeat at Dewsbury last season, but this is his home debut, and he is another one of these stars of the future. And when you think about it, Andrew Chalmers promised to produce those homegrown players, certainly coming into effect when you think that Stevenson, Cullen, Milnes, Wilson, Hodgson, Staunton, Doyle, Foster, all given squad numbers ahead of the new 2019 campaign. So Bradford back in possession, 15 metres shy of the halfway line via Stevenson. Milnes goes in at dummy half. Oakes on tackle number 2. So all you missed while me and Ross were talking was a set of 6 from the Bulls, which resulted in Judah Maziv very nearly being forced to drop out, and then York being restricted to their own 40-metre line and then being forced to put the kick in. So here we are with the Bulls down the middle with Kirk. This will be the last tackle now. 30 metres out, centre field. Lilly to Chisholm. Chisholm with a bit of a reverse swing. That's caught the wind. No one wants to take an air swing at this, but it's bounced up kindly for Ash Robson. Robson going back towards his own try line. Now looks for an amazing run. Fends off Lilly. Can't get past Bustin and Hallis. 2 immovable objects there, bringing and halting down his run. And you almost suspect that the York City Knights now, with the scoreboard and clock against them, under 14 minutes remaining, no league points at stake, but James Ford and John Keir, they'll quietly tell you there's a lot of immense pride on the line this afternoon. Jubb to Jordan Roberts, brought down there by Bustin, offloads the ball back to Jubb. Here goes Will Jubb, probing, Jubb down the middle, half break there, but he's brought down by Kirk and Lilly in a 2-man tackle. The York City Knights to Marsh, to Robinson, kick through, Josh Rickett on hand on that left-hand edge. He'll just smother the ball, and Bradford, well, certainly that defensive solidity holding up, and we're about to see Mikey Wood come out there on the field. Stevenson will get to his feet, he'll play the ball. Ash Gibson now, tackle number 2. Rolled in the tackle there by Will Jubb. Here goes Lilly. Lilly to Connor Farrell. Farrell's going to be brought down 12 metres out from the halfway line, just to the right of centre field. Lilly looking at options. Kicks, looking for a 40-20, Jordan Lilly. Has he got the bearings? It's just gone the wrong side of the line. And I tell you something, Ash Robson, his heart must have stopped a beat there, because Jordan Lilly had seen something, Ross, that none of us saw.
Yeah, you know, Lil always practice that kicking out of dummy half after training all the time. You know, he knows his range, and yeah, he took Robinson off by surprise, looking for the spin at ball, because otherwise that would have been a 40-20.
21, Jack Blackburn.
Jack Blackburn back out on the field. Dave Peterson takes a well-earned and deserved rest. Will Jubb on this right-hand edge towards Jack Teamby. Teamby's brought down on tackle number 4. A couple of metres inside the Bradford half. And here goes Jack Blackburn on his return to action. That'll be the last tackle. York, 38 metres out from that Bradford line. They're in centre field. It's going to go from Jubb to Robinson. Robinson, a kick through, looking for options. It's picked up by Judamaziv, but Judamaziv is stopped there by Josh Rickett on that right-hand edge. And once again, this Bradford Bulls defence working effectively for one another. And the referee will just stop the clock because Judamaziv has a bit of cramp and he's helped to his feet there. Great to see. And Bradford will play the ball deep inside their own half, but more importantly, it's run off a couple of seconds off the clock. 12 minutes remaining. Ross, I'll ask you for the Bulls Live, Bulls TV man of the match in the next 5 minutes, so get your thinking cap on. Here goes Hallis. Robinson, really impressed with. Connor Farrell for the Bulls. Ash Robinson, you know what you get. Tenacious in defence, making the step up in the absence of Tim Spears. Elliot Cullen about to come on for his Bradford Bulls debut. Mikey Wood brought down and he's lost the ball on contact. So another chance coming up here for the York City Knights. And Ross, when you think back to Andrew Chalmers' promise, you know, the club's ethos to produce those homegrown players, and when you look at Stevenson, Cullen, Milnes, Wilson, Hodgson, Staunton, Doyle and Foster, that's just 8 of last season's under-19s that have been named in John Keir's first team squad.
Yeah, you know, it's testament to the club. I think, you know, the club's got a rich history of producing young players. You know, me, Ethan, Steve Crossley, you know, we've all been part of this setup from when we were young, under different regimes, but you know, the club's always produced talent, and I think all these young boys here are a testament to Lee Beattie, Mark Dunning, John Bastin on what talent they've found and what talent they've been producing for the club. And do you know what? I think all these lads are ready to make their debut this year, you know, and in training it puts great pressure on us, you know, because they're keen, they're hungry, and yeah, John loves having them around because they bring that enthusiasm to us, and you know, it's amazing to see that the club, through all the hard times, will still continue to produce such good youngsters.
Reece Worth, he's got no number on his back. He'll get up and play the ball, and it will be Brad Hay who will finish the tackle. But the referee has seen a bit of an indiscretion from a Bradford player off the ball, and it's a penalty in front of the Bulls post. And with 10 minutes remaining here, a try now to James Ford's York City Knights would certainly put the cat with the pigeons, and we would have another grandstand finale here at Odsall Stadium. We've already had 2 fantastic humdingers, and we're about to see a third. Connor Robinson brought down 5 metres out from that Bradford Bulls try line, jubbing at dummy half to Marsh to Robson on this right-hand edge, keeping the ball going along the line to Bass. Bass brought down there by Elliot Cullen. Bass has to get to his feet, gets the quick play the ball in, and it's going to go from Robson to Blackburn. 2 tackles remaining here for the York City Knights. They're still 5 metres out in front of the post, and this will be the last tackle. They're a metre shy. Can they break the Bradford Bulls' defensive resilience? The referee puts whistle to lips. There's an entanglement of legs under the post. York have gone incredibly close. This will be the last tackle. 9 minutes remaining. The trail by 8. Robinson to Jordan Roberts. Jordan Roberts gets the ball out the back door, but it's been picked up by Connor Farrell, and Bradford survive another scare from the City Knights. Bulls Live, Bulls TV, Bradford 20, York 12 here at Odsall on Boxing Day. Wow, if this isn't warming your hearts and spirits for the season ahead, I don't know what is. Defogging Johnson back out there, takes a 3-man tackle. 25 out from his own line. Stevenson in at dummy half. The hop, the skip, the jump. Looks for an opening. Can't. Just takes the metres forward. Lilly now in there at dummy half. He's looking immediately towards Mikey Wood. Finds Wood. Wood gets his head down. Legs pumping forward. And that's a good, effective set of 6 there from the Bradford Bulls. They've done the hard yards forward. And now the referee's going to stop the clock because something has... He's seen a bit of claret coming from one of the York City Knights players. So this will be the blood bin. This will allow everybody to just get the breaths back momentarily. And we've got 8 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Ross, will ask you now for the Bulls Live, Bulls TV, man of the match this afternoon.
It's been a tough one. You know, I've had three people mainly in mind. You know, I had Matty Staunton. He's had an awesome game. You know, Conor Farrell and Ross Oakes. You know, Oakes, he's had so much promise. He didn't have the best year last year, but you know, he's starting to show that form he showed in 2017. And I think Conor Farrell's just edged it for me. So I give him man of the match. You know, between him and Oakes, really for me. You know, Sam Alice has done a shift. Mikey Wood. You know, Liam Kirk, but yeah, Conor Farrell for the defensive work he's putting, and every time he's carried, you know, he's making 10, 12, 15 metres every time, you know, and I'm excited to play next to him, and I'm excited to see what he brings, because, you know, I think he's brought that extra edge to our pack. Yeah.
There you go, the Bulls Live, Bulls TV, man of the match this afternoon, Conor Farrell. And I'll certainly watch this game back, and I'll be tallying up them tackle counts, because he has been everywhere out there for John Keir's side this afternoon. So that last tackle kick from Chisholm, once again straight down the throat of Ash Robson, who's stepping in at fullback with the absence of Matt Chilton in this second half. And York, as we said, they're against the scoreboard and the clock now. 7 minutes remain here at Odsall. To the credit, they've kept the Bulls scoreless in this second half, so that will please head coach James Ford, certainly showing a lot of character out there, and certainly from the Bulls' point of view, it was all that effort, endeavour and tenacity in that first half when they build up that 20 points to 0 lead. But the York City Knights are still playing as they come on this right-hand edge, and that is going to be Jason Bass. On the last tackle, 35 metres out, it goes into centre field to Connor Robinson. Robinson looking to split Rickett and Stevenson, and here goes Alex Stevenson, and we're about to see some magic from one of the numerous young under-19 players playing in this Bulls side in this second half. Josh Rickett brought down, just down outside his own 20-metre line. Here goes John Magrin, defogging Johnson, as Magrin has just come back on for Liam Kirk. So Liam Kirk's done another heavy, well-minute stint for John Keir's side. Lilly now to Magrin. Magrin make that free. York City Knights defenders bring him down. They're going to try and turn him in the tackle, slow down the ruck. Lilly's already looking for options, and Lilly is adjudged to have knocked the ball on at the ruck, and Ross and the supporters, no one can believe it.
No, that's not a knock on. You know, it was a good quick play ball by Jimmy. George just reached backwards and picked it up. I can't see where the knock on is there. I don't see where nobody fumbled the ball. I think maybe he's give John Magrin a knock on for how he played ball, but no, I don't see it myself.
Well, the York City Knights, another scrum, 5 metres inside the Bradford half. And as we mentioned at half-time about the 11 new additions, let's not forget the 8 players who won't be with the club in 2019, namely James Davis, Jordan Andrade, Lee Smith, Vila Halafihi, Reece Butterworth, Harvey Burnett, Alex Brown and Dan King. Andrade, Brown, Burnett and King all joining local rivals, the Dewsbury Rams. Well, Jordan Lilly has just stolen the ball one-on-one on the zero tackle. So here we go. The crowd getting on the back of the referee. Jordan Roberts holding down his former Leeds teammate there in the tackle. And Jordan Lilly wriggling around on the floor. Wins Bradford their 8th penalty. And Dane Chisholm showing a bit of leadership now. He's got the arms out, calming things down. We've got the scoreboard. We've got the clock. There's 5 minutes remaining. And you almost suspect a 5th try of the afternoon here on this set of 6. That would firmly see the Bulls go back-to-back on Boxing Day after they beat Halifax here last Boxing Day by 26 points to 12. Here goes Jordan Lilly out of dummy half to Hallis. Hallis gets the legs pumping forward. Hallis will be brought down in a three-man tackle, 10 metres out. Lilly to Staunton. Matty Staunton trying to use his upper body strength to get the ball down. Pushed back in the field of play, 2 metres away from that York City Knights try line. Lilly will he show and go himself. He's going on a mazy run in front of the post. Out it goes to Mikey Wood to Mills. Mills kicks ahead looking for Conor Farrell. And the York City Knights are forced to run the ball over the dead ball line. That will run time off the clock. Bulls Live, Bulls TV, Bradford 20, York 12. And I think we're seeing the Bulls of last year now, Ross. Bit of familiarity
Yeah, we've seen Bulls last year, and I think we're seeing the Bulls now, because I think the way the boys have gelled over pre-season has been immense. You know, feels like we've been together as a group of players for a lot longer, and I think you're seeing that now. I'm excited.
Chisholm takes the goal line, drop out, restart on the fly. Immediately gives it to Magrin. Magrin on tackle number 1. 3.5 minutes remaining here at Odsal. Job well done from John Keir and the Bradford Bulls. Lilly once again controlling the ruck, looking for options, directing the movement and the flow. Goes on that right hand side to Mills. Mills out wide. Chance for the Bulls on that right hand edge. Stevenson just caught in a bit of a tailwind there, and he's going to be brought down 5 metres out from the York City Knights try line. It's going to go from Mills to Wood. Wood trying to bulldoze his way now past this York watertight defence. Can't get any headway. 4th tackle gone. 5 metres out from the line. It's going to go back to Chisholm. Chisholm in front of the post. A kick through. Looking to put Brad Hay under pressure. It misses out here. Jason Bass recovers. And Jason Bass now goes on a marauding run down the centre of the field. Brought down there by Magrin. Bass gets a quick play the ball in. Have York got anything left? They've got to score twice in the next 2 minutes and 50 seconds. The referee, though, will stop the clock because there's a bit of a head concussion knock in back play. And Bradford have a man down, just receiving the attention there from the Bulls physio, Matt Joke. And I think it's Sam Hallis. And Sam Hallis just down there on his knees, getting the attention. There was a bit of a head collision off the tackle. So play just stopped here. Well, Sam Hallis is allowed to leave the field. So Hallis, is he going to get the all clear from the Bulls physio? No, it's looking like Sam Hallis will leave the field. So Sam Hallis goes off with what appears to be just a bit of a head knock, a bit of precaution. So Hallis will leave the field. Doyle will come back on for the remaining 2.5 minutes here at Odsal, and it remains Bradford 20, York 12. Will Jubb out of dummy half. Jubb to Blackburn. Now or never for the City Knights. Have the Knights got the key to unlock this stern Bulls defence? They're just short of the halfway line. Robinson looking for a 40-20. Josh Rickett out of position, but gets back in time. Stops the ball going into touch. Takes it on the full, and he'll meet the black and gold shirted York defence on his own 30-metre line. And once again, it's another quick play of the ball as Mills will float the ball towards Fogging Johnson. And Fogging Johnson, a lot of effort this afternoon. He'll get up and play the ball just short of the halfway line. We're in the final 90 seconds here at Odsal now, and it's going to be another Boxing Day win for the Bulls. And in the grand final, that never was, the Bulls will take the 3-game series, if you include the previous 2 league games, 2-1. But York will still have that remarkable season where they finished 2 points clear of the men from Odsal. Last tackle, Bradford, 30 out from the York line, Lilly to Mills. Mills looking to involve Ricketts and Ashley Gibson. The ball's bounced backwards, so York, ball in hand. Is this we're going to see some now or never stuff, Harlem Globetrotter stuff as it goes across the face, and it's flung straight into the arms of Jason Bass, who's playing right centre in this second half, and Bass is going to be brought down just out over on this main stand side. So final 60 seconds, the Knights have got to go 80 metres and hopefully get an 8-point try. I think we're talking miracles. It's not going to happen this afternoon. Not going to happen. But they're still, to the credit, playing right to the death, and that will please James Ford and his side. And as we said, it'll be Bradford Halifax here at Odsal next Sunday. Next Saturday, it'll be the York City Knights against Hunslet Parkside. Of course, coached by Paul McShane. So that one promises to be a humdinger at the Tetley Stadium in Dewsbury. So final seconds, and York on the last tackle, on that halfway line. Matty Staunton, Mikey Wood in that 2-man tackle, Jubb in at dummy half to Matty Marsh, Marsh to Robinson, Robinson with a cut-out pass over on that left edge towards Ash Robson. Robson back in centre field towards Connor Robinson. Robinson will kick towards touch. It's gone out on the full, and with 10 seconds remaining, that will probably be the final act of this Boxing Day game to kickstart the 2019 season. Full time at Odsal, the Bradford Bulls victorious by 20 points to 12 in the game that was billed as the grand final that never was. Both Bradford and York, two teams who had fantastic seasons in 2018. They will be part of the Betfred Championship in 2019, and it has been job well done for John Keir and his side. It was all the work done in the first half on the attack with Oakes, Farrell, Wood and Hitchcocks. The second half, they survived an early scare at the start of that second half with tries from Dixon and Robson, but in the end, the Bulls' defensive solidity stood tall, and it is a well-worked run-out for both James Ford and John Keir's side. Full-time here at Odsal Stadium, Bradford Bulls 20, the York City Knights 12.